Welcome to Entrepreneurial Genius, the podcast where spiritually conscious entrepreneurs get a grip on their business, their health, their money, their relationships, and their life. And now, here's your host, Paul.
Welcome to another episode. It's Paul Montalongo, and I'm glad to have you here. Today, I am joined by a very interesting guest that I think is going to be of great benefit to anyone who's a real estate agent as well as a real estate investor. So if you're in the RE world, this is for you because we're going to talk about the impact of social media and how to generate high quality leads in social media. And Belladonna has got that skill set. I discovered Belladonna on through social media. I guess your ads were working, Belladonna. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Paul. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So after talking to you a few times about this process that you have and the effect of social media now in the real estate world, I just knew that it'd be very important for the people that follow my show and to really hear what you have to say about how to maximize these leads. First of all, let's just have a moment here to talk about the state of social media on the planet today. In my opinion, it's nuts. It's crazy. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Oh.
What's your view on it?
Oh, Facebook is my second favorite F word. It's definitely love-hate. And it's
Fudge is your first one? I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it can be very hard to keep up with. That I will be the first to admit. It can feel a little overwhelming at first, but once you get in there, it's just not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I hate it more or love it more, but I do feel like it's essential. It's necessary.
Yes.
Like back in the day, I first started marketing with radio commercials and television commercials.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth.
And now that's like that audience has shrunk to this. And
to senior citizens.
Yeah, the social media audience is just like you can't get away from it. I don't know what the current statistics are, but all you got to do is go to a restaurant and everyone has their head down in their phone.
Yeah.
Checking their Facebook and Instagram and the other places.
All that stuff.
Yeah. And you're active on social media. I know that. For your business and for your personal life. I'm active for my personal life and my business as well. So that's the love-hate. It's like I don't like being glued to the phone, but I find myself glued to the phone or glued to the computer.
Nevertheless, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I'll start with what I love about it and how I think it's absolutely transformed advertising as we know it, but it has taken the big dogs and just kind of knocked them off the advertising pedestal, and it's put the small business owner in a position where for the first time in history ever in marketing and advertising, the smallest startup company or brand new agent or brand new investor can get in front of tens of thousands or millions of potential clients for really small amounts of money. And with a little bit of know-how, they can even do it for themselves to start until they start to become profitable enough to kind of take that off their plate, and outsource it to somebody else. But you'd mentioned, I was so stoked, Paul, that you mentioned radio, TV. I mean, it used to be the only way you could get in front of a large audience as a business was you had to do billboards, right? That was our mainstay in real estate. Like, I still don't know how effective they are. Like, who the hell can remember a number at 65 miles an hour? You know?
You have like 3/4 of a second to pay attention to it.
Yeah, and if you're driving in Utah, it's 90 miles an hour, even if it's a blizzard, You know
what? That's interesting because don't the statistics show that we look at, as we scroll through our feed, like when we're scrolling, we look at those ads for less than a second, half a second, if that long.
6 seconds is the attention span online. So you've got half a second to make them stop, and there's a really silly name for it. It's called a thumb stopper. And that's where the image that you use is going to be so important, because it's got to get somebody to stop and slow down enough to even read what your offer is. And then from the moment we've stopped them, we've got about 6 seconds, and we'll either hook them or we'll lose them. So
agree.
That's why the images that you use, the fancy techie word in social media is called the creative. The creative that you use is really important, can't be overstated, because it needs to stop people. And then second only is your ad copy. Like, what are you saying in those first few little sentences to hook them, to grab their attention? If we've got any fishermen watching, they get it, right? Your creative is kind of like the bait, and then you've got to catch them quick, or they'll swim away.
I'm making notes, like the things I want the listeners to remember. You can remember whatever the hell you want, I guess, but these are the things I would suggest. The thumb stop.
Yes, thumb stopper.
The creative and the hook and the copy, right? All in 6 seconds.
That's
and like
it.
half a second just to stop the swipe.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, just to go back just a couple of minutes, what social media has done, if you look at the real positive aspect of it, to your point, it's leveled the playing field for the most part. And you can scale your business, and you can scale your marketing budget up
as you go,
proportionally to the amount of work that you put into it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you can start shockingly small, as little
like
for
free,
realtors,
right?
Yes.
Organic posts.
You can start with free, and depending on how much time we have on the podcast today, Paul, I've got some really good free strategies that everybody can do starting today. Like,
okay,
get off your podcast and go do it.
Okay, we're going to get to those. Don't tell them now, because we don't want them to leave the podcast.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Make them wait.
Drum roll to the end.
That's it. Hook them to the end. And then the beauty too is, and especially for real estate, right? Because real estate agents, as well as real estate investors, they're targeting in social media numbers very, very small audiences, because they're usually going to stay within a couple of counties of where they're at. And so, because in the world of social media, you know, an audience that's smaller than 1 million is considered tiny. So we have the ability, spending as little money as $5 a day to start on ads. And then as soon as you start to get some traction, you can see what's working, what's not working. You scale it up a little bit to, you know, a $20 a day ad can generate hundreds of leads. And compare that to, I've got an investor who is committed also to TV, direct mail. You know, one direct mail run of his is $20K. Because he does huge direct mail runs. He just dropped he dropped $40K on TV over the summer, got one deal out of it. Like, it was crap-tastic.
Well, that's another example of, I don't know about you, but I don't watch network television at all.
No.
Like, the only time I see it is maybe, you know, at a sports bar or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't have it on my.
And then it's usually not local TV. It's like ESPN
cable or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this social media world for real estate people, real estate agents, and investors. So I want to do like a big umbrella look, and then we can drill down on certain areas as we see fit. But like, in your opinion, what's the overview for a real estate agent or real estate investor on how they can best use social media, the different channels of social media, and like, what's the best overall strategy or advice you'd give somebody about social media and as advertising in the real estate world?
Awesome. So there's a couple of things, Paul, that I'm really clear on, especially for agents and investors, agents and maybe even a little bit more. And because agents are now have gotten so addicted to buying leads from a third party. And I'm seeing more and more of those types of operations in businesses move into the investor space as well. And I'm a firm believer that your leads are your absolute lifeblood of your business. I want to own that system. I don't want to be at the mercy of Zillow or Boomtown or Realtor.com or whatever other third-party agency is going to market to me to do that, because I kind of joke there's two things you don't outsource. You don't outsource your marketing, and you don't outsource fun time with your husband or wife.
Okay. Your love life, right? Don't outsource.
That's it.
So, but when you say own it.
So, yeah, when I say own that system, I'm actually talking about owning some fundamental assets in your business, which means, one, they're tangible, they are a tax write-off, and they generate income. And so in this case, what I'm talking about are actual unique sales funnels. And I hate technobabble with a passion. So sales funnels are kind of like just a couple of simple landing pages that are completely built for one offer alone. And they serve one purpose only: get the lead. And so when you own, 3 or 4 of those, or in my case, I've got like dozens of sales funnels.
You own the funnel, you own the channel itself.
Yes, you own the actual physical funnel, right? The pages themselves. You can...
And then you own the lead that is generated from that funnel.
That's right. And here's the piece about owning the actual sales funnels. And if we think about these as like block number 1, the sales funnels themselves, this is the place we're going to drive the traffic to, right? So you can think of it like kind of like a website, but a website serves many purposes. A sales funnel only serves one purpose, and that is to capture the lead, and that's it. And they're infinitely better at lead capture than websites. So to give you an example, the average website only converts, if you're lucky, at 3 to 5%. Meaning you'll get like 3 to 5 leads for every 100 people you drive to your site. Those are terrible numbers. A good sales funnel should convert at least 20%, meaning you're going to get, roughly 5 times the leads for the same amount of traffic that you drive to that site. So,
here's the question I have for you. When someone goes to your website, isn't that often a function of their response to the funnel? You can use the funnel in lieu of your website. And this is kind of the really new thing. And so if we think of it like this, you're going to own, you can start with just one sales funnel of your own. And don't get me wrong, these are super easy to put together. Really easy, built for the layperson. You don't need a programmer. It's drag and drop easy. So you have your sales funnels, and here's why I'm pretty adamant about these, because you're going to drive traffic into your funnel from a number of different places. It could be Facebook, it could be YouTube, it could be Instagram, it could be from LinkedIn. Your podcast could drive then to your funnel. Your LinkedIn.
Thank you. Some soon to be, but not yet invented social media site. And the reason that's so important is if Facebook shuts down your ad account one day, which they are notorious for doing, hence my love-hate relationship with Facebook, Or if one day they simply just become too expensive and they no longer produce the quality leads, if all you did was Facebook, you are now in real trouble. And whereas when you have sales funnels, you can plug, I think of the sales funnel as the car, and the gas stations are all these different media channels. If one day Facebook gives you trouble, you just take your car and drive it on over to YouTube and gas up over there, or drive it on over to Google pay-per-click. So
and you can do all at the same time, or some of them at the same time.
You can run
multiple streams.
Multiple. And I typically have several.
Multiple streams.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Like you could have one funnel that's capturing all the leads. You could have Facebook leads coming in, YouTube leads coming in, leads from your podcast, leads from LinkedIn, all dumping into one funnel. No problem at all. You can run multiples at the same time. And then the next piece is your actual kind of figuring out, okay, where do I want to start driving traffic from? And right now, hands down, Facebook has the eyeballs. So to kind of continue our metaphor of fishing, okay, so I am the daughter of Sicilian immigrant fishermen. I can swear in 2 languages.
Okay.
If anybody ever knows what it's like to be raised by sailors. And so one thing when you're raised by a commercial fisherman is you go where the fish are. You don't expect them to swim over to you. You just drive your boat to wherever the most fish are and you drop your nets. It's the exact same thing with this. So right now, you know, there's billions of users on Facebook. There are as many people, interestingly, on Facebook Messenger as on every other single social media platform combined, which means within Facebook, there's a second market that you can tap. That's all the people that are now using Facebook Messenger. And the age demographic of the people that we need tend to be more on Facebook at this point than on other sources like Instagram. And it's
unless you're going for like a really youthful
millennial, like if you're going out
there, or younger.
If you're targeting a millennial or younger market, then it makes sense to be on Instagram. It just does.
And Snapchat, I guess. Snapchat. Do you?
Yeah.
Is that a marketing platform?
Pinterest.
Huh?
Pinterest
yes.
would be one. So here's kind of an interesting thing. Right now, the second largest search engine on planet Earth, just where somebody goes to search for something, is YouTube.
Makes sense. Yep.
Third largest search engine, and these are all after Google. So Google's number 1, YouTube's 2, Pinterest is number 3. So, you know, when 2 social media channels are now the second and third largest search engine in the world, we know that's where people are.
Yeah.
But hands
so
down,
you talk one funnel at a time, or one funnel over several channels, but then the real power comes in 2 or 3 funnels over several
channels. Absolutely. And the reason you'd roll 2 or 3 funnels is because every funnel is 100% specific to a singular offer, right? We're not, because here's what we know. The minute we try to offer a consumer more than one choice, our conversion rates just drop like a stone. So the whole point of the sales funnels being 1 per offer is, you know, if you're 100% clear that I'm trying to land home seller leads and nothing else, and in this case, I'm looking for retail home sellers, right? So if I'm a real estate agent, I'm going to have a funnel built for that one singular purpose, and that's it. And when they land on it, there's only going to be one thing for them to do: put their information in, and that's it. I'm
glad you brought that up, because I really want to get to like a specific example, and you started that for us. real estate agent, home seller, one particular action item, one message, I guess. What else does an agent need to think about for that funnel, that message, that channel?
So the one thing they need to get really clear on is what is the hook that they're going to offer that home seller. The better the hook, the more likely that home seller is going to be willing to give you their information in exchange for whatever that hook was. So in this case, what we found ironically are CMA ads don't do well. That's where you just say, hey, find out what your home is worth. They don't convert terribly well.
Interesting.
However, if we tweak it a little, right, we use just a little bit of psychology with that curiosity and wanting to know what our neighbors are doing. If we take what's a more traditional, like just sold kind of ad, right? Every realtor knows what a just sold postcard is, where you mail the neighborhood, look, your neighbor's home sold. If we do something that's a variant of that and say, hey, your neighbor's home sold in 3 days for above asking price, would you like to know how much equity you have in your home in our current market? I bet it's more than you think. Now, and we actually have a picture of the neighbor's home with a big banner on it, and they're going to recognize it more likely than not. At the very least, they'll probably recognize the area, the neighborhood. These are really specific ads. We're not doing that super mass produced kind of stuff.
It's not an image you pulled off Google. It's an actual sold property.
Correct. And for my agents out there, it doesn't have to be your listing. Okay. You don't have to have been the agent who sold it to run these types of ads. Now, you can't take credit for selling it, and you need to be careful how you come by the photos, and meaning on most MLSs, the photos posted are the property of the listing agent, so you can't just go rip photos arbitrarily off the MLS. And if you did, there's a chance that you might get in trouble for it. But there are a lot of ways to come up with front photo images of a house, including tax records. Drive by, snap a picture. I've been known to rip them off Zillow and just
they were listed originally, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Even before they were listed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. So, there's a lot of, now that particular ad does really well for bringing in seller leads, because one, they are also curious to know what the neighbor's home sold for.
Right. They want to know what the Joneses are up to.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
the insatiable curiosity of people.
That's it.
And nosy people.
Oh yeah. And we're all nosy, especially when it comes to something like that. And it's that piece of public information that in a lot of states is not available. They can find out what it was advertised, the sales price, but they may not be able to actually track down the sold price. And so offering that along with, we just tweak the language a little bit. Instead of saying, find out how much your home is worth, it's would you like to know how much more equity you have in your home now? It's a fairly small tweak, but it makes all the difference.
Sure. You may have more equity than you imagine.
Exactly. And it draws people who may not, there's a lot of reasons why they might want to know how much equity they've got in their property. And even if they're not right now sellers, now though, you've got them, they're in your pipeline, you can continue to market to them, stay in touch.
Right.
And here's the one piece I will say.
Capture their phone number, and then you go to the text services and the email and recorded calls and such. Yeah.
Exactly. All that stuff. And in this case also, I would highly recommend getting them in your Messenger subscriber list, which is on your Facebook Messenger. And there's some really simple, quick, and easy ways to get that done too.
Okay, cool. So we've talked about this before, but you stimulated a thought, and that's the strategy of excluding competition.
Yes. Okay.
So let me see if I can bridge my thoughts here in a coherent way for the audience, because I know you already know where I'm going. But so you've got your funnel, it's driving traffic. You're trying to get somebody to list their house with you, and at the same time, you don't want all your competition seeing what you're doing for a variety of reasons. The biggest and best reason that I know of is if you pay a penny for that piece of traffic, that's a penny that you want to go to qualified leads and
Correct.
not to competition.
Absolutely.
So, aside from the other reasons about competition seeing your ads, it's a wasted penny.
It's absolutely wasted.
Yeah. So
because those
how
other
do you
agents aren't going to use you to list their house.
Right. So exactly. So how do you exclude your competition? And I think this is relevant for not only agents, but like investors, because if I'm out there as an investor trying to generate, say, motivated seller leads.
Seller leads.
Okay. Motivated
Yes.
sellers, people with properties in distress. I want every penny that I invest to go to people in a distressed situation.
Correct. Yeah, your ad dollars are precious.
Yes.
And so the way that you do that, and it couldn't be simpler, and this is for Facebook.
Okay.
So when you're in building out your Facebook audience, you have three broad areas that you can choose from. The first are interests, right? Facebook keeps track of everything that you have ever demonstrated an interest in online and offline, by the way. So,
and if you don't think they have, and if you don't think they do, or if you don't think they know what you're interested in, just go to your Facebook and see what kind of ads pop up. So me, I get real estate ads, obviously.
yeah.
I get Harley Davidson ads, and I get yoga ads. So it's like,
Yep.
who knew I was interested in those three things?
They know everything.
Yeah.
And they do monitor your email.
And those are the places that I go bop around on and look at all the time and gather information and so forth. You say they monitor your email.
Yes, it's in your terms and services agreement. So that's how they know
we've
things.
all read.
When people, oh yes, absolutely. So when people go, oh my God, how did they, that's weird. I just had like some weird, random, let's just say it's a plastic surgery ad pop up. Like, where'd that come from? Because they monitor your email too.
I'm going to tell you something. This brings another thought. I don't know how they're doing this, but I won't even type in anything. I'll say something.
Yes.
And then I'll go
as well.
And then I'll go type it in, and you know how Google pops up immediately the interest, right? And it almost matches word for word the thing I said. I'm like, who's watching?
Yeah,
but
well,
that's where we are.
They're listening because they also have in your terms and services is also the right to access your mic and your camera. For all we know, they're watching, but nobody has postulated that yet. Yes. Just flip over your phone on your nightstand. That's all I'm saying.
And we love Facebook. Please don't shut us down. Okay. Anyway, so let's get back to excluding competition.
So how do you exclude people? So there are three broad categories that you can target for your ads to go to. Okay. So you can target people based on their interests, or I should say four actually. You can target them based on their behaviors. So what have they done recently? Have they recently had a baby? Have they recently had a divorce? Have they recently bought something else online? You can target by 1 million behaviors. And then the last is you can target by demographic, age, gender, race, religion.
How about what you spend money on?
Exactly.
Okay. Your socioeconomics.
Correct. Your income bracket.
Okay.
So those fall under the demographics category. So word of warning number one,
We got 3 there. So you said there were 4?
Yeah, and there was a 4. And then
Yeah.
you can target by influencers. And
Okay,
that
all right.
means, yeah, so like if I want to get real estate agents, I might, or pardon me, like let's say for instance, I'm trying to target, I say real estate agents out of habit, a homeowner, a home seller, and I know and Facebook has an area called Audience Insights where they will tell you what your people are looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say I find that in the state of Utah, between the ages of 37 and 60, which I know is going to be my audience for a home seller, that the average home seller also watches, I don't know, Good Morning America. You know, you can also hit Good Morning America as an interest.
Got it.
You know, or you could, if you were trying to target, let's say, real estate agents, you could pick an influencer like Mike Ferry,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who nobody but an agent would know who that was or would follow him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of your 4th level. But your big 3 are interests, behaviors, and demographics.
Okay.
So word of warning for real estate agents, okay? You can exclude anybody who you can include in an audience in Facebook. Facebook also allows you to exclude them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important that agents don't exclude anybody who falls under fair housing protection. So federal fair housing, right? Facebook got into a huge amount of trouble for this because some watchdog groups gamed the system basically and ran some fake ads, and they'd exclude like families with children. And the ads got through, the algorithm didn't stop the ad, and then they went, haha, look, you can discriminate on Facebook. And they ended up in front of the Senate over that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So they've really cracked down.
So how I mean, we know the groups that you can't, you know, exclude under the Fair Housing Act, but how does that work practically on a when you're putting together your Facebook ad?
Here's how it would work practically. Let's say you have a 1-bedroom condo for sale, mm-hmm. and it's high end. Let's say you've got a $500,000 1-bedroom, really cool ski out condo for sale up in Snowbird. Okay, no family is going to be buying this. This is going to be an upper end, affluent person who loves skiing, and you want to exclude families with young children. Mm-hmm. Can't do it. Even though for your ad dollars, it makes sense to exclude people who can't look at it or who would have no interest in buying such a property, you still can't exclude them from your ads because it's federal fair housing violation.
Okay.
So that's kind of a practical example.
You can't exclude them in the real world from viewing a property, coming into your community. Don't exclude them on Facebook.
That's exactly it. Perfectly stated. So who should you exclude, though, from that ad? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you go into your interest section, there's going to be a little area where you can type in everything that you want to include, and Facebook has this awesome feature, and it's called suggestions. And right under, you'll see an empty box in the word suggestions. Click on it, and Facebook will start auto-populating tons of other targeting ideas that you may have never thought of and that you're shocked to even see. You're like, mm-hmm. They know that?
Mm-hmm.
They do.
And they'll tell you how many people are in that group as well.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
So one step below that, you have an area where you can exclude. Okay, so here's who you exclude. And I'm just going to say, be careful, because interests and demographics sometimes look the same. So here's a good example. If you're targeting home sellers, it's perfectly all right to include real estate agents as an interest. They're interested in real estate agents. So you'll see the word real estate agent, and then over on the right-hand column, it'll say interest. But under demographics, you need to exclude real estate agents, and it'll say job title. So just pay attention that, because you have some that will, they look very similar to one another. You need to verify every single job title that includes real estate, agent, sales, broker, associate broker. You want to exclude them all from seeing your ads. And then I will also go through and I will exclude all the major brokerages that I know operate in my area. So Coldwell Banker, Berkshire Hathaway, Windermere, Keller Williams. Hell, I don't want C21 agents seeing my ads either, so I will exclude C21. And then I will layer in some exclusions around influencers. So I will also in my exclusions include Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Brian Buffini, Tom Hopkins, because we know only real estate agents would be interested in those guys. Mm-hmm. So
you'll exclude them, you said? I
will exclude them as well. Anybody who's interested in them also gets excluded from seeing the ad. Mm-hmm. And in that way, you're as much as you possibly can. And it's spend a little time, because you'll be shocked how many demographics are in there related to your own industry. Mm-hmm. Take a few minutes and just get them all in there. And that's how, as much as you really can, you make it so that you're not wasting any money. Because think about it. Salt Lake City, I mean, it doesn't spring to mind when you think big city. You think LA, right. Or Salt Lake City is up to almost 20,000 agents. Okay, I don't need to spend money sending my ads to 20,000 people who are never going to use my services. Yeah. So get them all in there and excluded. You're not wasting money marketing to them. That's awesome. And if they're anything even remotely like me, I hack the hell out of everybody. If you run a brilliant ad, it captures my attention. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go through your funnel. I'm going to take a look at your offer, your graphics. I even have spy software. I'll go behind the scenes and I'm going to see how much traffic you're getting.
So you can learn to tweak yours. Yeah.
That's it, because you're always looking for good ideas.
These are paid ads that you're talking about?
Yes, this is all on the paid ad side.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the budget for that can be, like you said earlier, as little as $5 a day, all the way up to several $100s a day if you wish.
Absolutely.
If you're getting an ROI.
Yes.
So, but that's, and by the way, how often should you go in and look at those interests, like the categories? How many days should you run the ad before you go, this is not working, I need to tweak it?
Okay, that's a really, really good question.
Yeah.
So rule of thumb, I don't care, unless you're just, okay, I'm going to back up because I want to start with, like, for somebody who's brand new. Once you've launched your very first paid ad, I don't care if you need to buy yourself a straitjacket. Don't touch it for 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
3 days. 3 days. That's it. Like, don't eat, like, if somebody has to take you away from the computer.
Because it's got to have time to infiltrate the market.
It does. So there's a word for it. It's like a little techie word, and it's called optimize.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, a really, really, really smart math equation is figuring out who is the very best audience for your ad. And when you're running ads for the very first time, Facebook has no data on you. They have no data on your ad account, which is, where you're running your ads out of. It's the free platform Facebook gives you. Everybody has one. You just might have never used it before. But it's kind of like a brand new baby. It's like, we're not sure who's going to like your ads yet. I mean, we're going to throw them out. To the people that you told us to, but we out of those, let's just say 100,000 people, we don't know who the best people are yet. Mm-hmm. It takes 3 days for that math equation, it's called an algorithm, to start to figure stuff out and really start to send it out. And then beyond that, after 3 days, if it's just a complete loss, you can start to go, okay, pause it, go back,
change the
and
interest.
evaluate.
Yeah.
Check your interests, but more importantly, check your offer, check your sales copy, and check your creative that you're using, because maybe it was just all way too bland or generic for somebody to really want to.
And what's this called when someone actually does tap on your ad, even if it's just a view, or maybe then it becomes an actual lead. In other words, they follow it through and they actually contact you. Doesn't Facebook then tell you that person's interest and demographics and likes and so forth like that? What's that called?
Awesome. So it's called, so it's retargeting.
Retargeting. Okay.
So what happens is when you start running ads, so everybody kind of understands cookies, right? Cookies, a little tiny piece of tracking code that sticks to you when you go to a website. Well, Facebook has kind of like lots of cookies. They've got cookies on steroids. And what theirs does, their tracking code can jump between devices, because what it's really tracking is the Facebook ID of the person who lands on your website. They don't even have to take your offer. All they have to do is land on your landing page for your sales funnel, and you've got them. And then you could have follow-up ads that you're running to every person who has engaged with you in any way, shape, or form online. That's called retargeting, and it jumps devices. So maybe they saw you on their phone, and now your retargeting ads are hitting them everywhere, on the tablet, on the computer. That's something a cookie can't do, but a Facebook pixel
through multiple platforms.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say this person's name, but I tapped on this person's ad. Wonderful ad, great training, everything's great. I'm like, oh, there's a model, right? Like you were talking earlier. There's a model. I cannot get rid of that person.
You're done.
And not so much that I want to, because I'm really learning a lot, but I see the power of what's called retargeting, which is one of the things I wanted to ask you about, but you've gotten to it. So once somebody latches on to you forever, I don't know, how long do they have to latch on to you? A few seconds.
A second. That's it.
Second.
If Pixel fires it like the speed of light.
Yeah. And then this person, I see this person on all the platforms that I'm on.
Yes.
And the ad says, you're here because we've retargeted you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks. I mean, I appreciate what they're doing, and I appreciate, the strategy, and I'm really learning a lot from the strategy, but that's an example of what we're talking about.
It really is. And if it's no different than our traditional follow-up, because if you're an investor or a real estate agent, when you're dealing with a cold prospect, it could be a for sale by owner, it could be somebody you picked up from door knocking, it could be somebody that came in off your direct mail piece. You may have to follow up with that person 7 to 10 times on average before they're ready to actually sit down with you and meet with you one-on-one. It's the exact same thing online.
Sure.
And so that very first ad is that first introduction between you and them. If they, for whatever reason, are not motivated enough to take your offer that first time, then your retargeting picks up. And so what you would have is you would have one ad running to your cold traffic, just based on all of your whatever you typed into your Facebook audience. And then simultaneously, you would have a second ad running, and your audience for that would be only people who've interacted with your ad up to this point. And now those people are getting followed up with online. It's the exact same concept, and it might take 3 or 7 or 10, but whatever that number is for them, they finally go, okay, I can't stand it. I got to have that free seller's playbook. It's killing me. Okay, fine. Just send me the damn playbook.
Yeah, I mean, like in the real world, what's the statistic? You have to ask for the sale 8 times before someone will entertain it, you know?
Well, I'm
going online.
Yeah, that's it. You know, the follow-up numbers for real estate is it takes 7 to 11 contacts to usually get somebody to say yes to an appointment. And all of those would be individual phone calls. I mean, what a pain in the ass. People don't like it, right? This way, it's on their terms. They don't feel like you're hounding them.
Right. But like you said, you got to pay attention to the content. You got to pay attention to the photo, the image. You got to pay attention to the call to action. And
yes,
like the whole thing's got to work for him. I saw an ad today that was really, really cool. It's an internet marketer guy, and he did not put his picture on it. He put a picture of some like caveman, and you know, and then he had the ad copy with it, and it was so out of internet marketer's character that I tapped on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. So
there you go.
Yeah, and it's testing. It's just testing. Those are all paid ads. And, well, 2 things. The first thing that occurs to me is that if there are people out there like me that don't want to fool with that, they want others to handle it for them, you know, you're a resource for that. I want you to talk to us about that a little bit more a little later. But at its very simplest, you know, a person can spend a little bit of time and do paid ads. And then if you want to get into all the web that can be created,
yes,
then that's probably the job of better suited for a professional, somebody that's really adept at doing that. And I want to cover more of that in a minute, but before it leaves my mind, so that's all paid traffic. How about organic traffic?
Okay, so
what's your best strategy, your best ideas, advice for realtors, real estate agents, investors for organic traffic?
Okay, number 1, hands down, newest hack for organic traffic. So really quick, the thing that's important to understand, let me tell you, you want to talk about who was pissed off? Grant Cardone freaked out and said he was never going to run any ads on Facebook again, and he spends millions of dollars on Facebook ads when they first made this change. And of course, he's still running Facebook ads because that's where the people are. But he was just really pissed. What was he so angry about? There were many people who spent millions of dollars building gigantic followings on their business pages or their fan pages, right? Mm-hmm. And the idea being you can build this giant following, and all you have to do is post to your page with a big following, and you get all of this traffic for free. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Facebook, they're not dummies over there. They're like, first of all, people aren't here to see your business stuff, okay? And you're getting all this traffic for free on the back of our platform. They changed the algorithm so that business pages and fan pages no longer get anywhere near the airtime in the news feed that they used to. And for people that put all of their time and effort into building giant followings, it was a giant kick in the pants because it meant they could no longer get all of these leads off just posting stuff for free. They had to switch and start running paid ads through the system.
On fan pages, business pages.
Correct.
Business page. Okay.
So they couldn't just get the organic reach that they used to get. And indeed, organic reach for business pages fell, but it just went into free fall when they changed the algorithm for this. But there is a loophole, and that is Facebook is dead set to capture some of YouTube's video audience. They are committed to growing their video viewership. And so what you can do is you can game Facebook with this. Now, the one thing I'll say, Paul, is people, they must do this from their business page. And there are a lot of techie reasons behind the scenes, but remember how we talked about you can build audiences of anybody that's interacted with you, and then you can market to those audiences? You can only do that from a business page, okay? So if you do this technique from your personal page, it ain't gonna work.
Is there a difference between a business page and a fan page? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Same thing. It's same thing. And it drives me nuts that they call it by different terms.
Okay.
But same thing. Just make sure it's your.
And just for clarification, if you have a business page, then you have a business manager, Facebook business manager account that you run this through, and it's real simple. I don't want to get into that now, but it's a tab
super simple.
Right, tap and pulls down, and it's the place where you do all of those advertisements and tracks all those statistics and everything. Okay.
They've got a brilliant dashboard behind the scenes, and everybody with a business page has one, even if they've never looked at it, and it's a free service. So you go to your business page, and now one thing I just want everybody to know, it doesn't matter if you don't have any followers. I did this with a brand spanking new business page because I had four major business pages, and it just started to be way too much to keep up with. So I consolidated them all into one, and that one had no followers on it whatsoever when I started this strategy, right? So viewers, followers do not matter. You need to go live from your business page every single day. Now, I know nobody likes hearing that for lots of reasons. One being, maybe they're camera shy. It makes them a little anxious to do video. They don't know what to say. All of those things, I'll fix what to say here. The other ones is just, folks, even if it's not your cup of tea, you just got to do it. It's like having a cell phone. It's no longer negotiable if you want to really kick it on this platform.
It's a great breakthrough exercise. If you don't like doing it, it's a great breakthrough exercise.
Yes, it is. And I will tell you, it's like me the first time I made a cold call. I was so scared making my first cold call. My hands were shaking, and then my voice started to shake. I sounded like a moron. But now to this day, I can cold call and dude, I don't care who I'm calling. I'm cool as a cucumber. Get
I don't mind confessing. I for years I traveled the world, all through the United States, North America, and I spoke professionally on stage in front of thousands of people.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And then when it was time, to go Facebook Live, man, I didn't have enough antiperspirant to manage. So of course, this is several years ago, but you get used to it. It's nothing because it feels permanent. It feels like it's never going away.
It never is.
It feels like people can peer into your video and look at your nose hairs and everything that you think is wrong.
Yep.
Get the hell over it. Okay?
And for God's sake, if you're a woman, agent, ladies, don't use those goddamn filters. Stop it. Stop it.
I didn't even know what those are.
Sooner or later, you're going to meet your client in person, and you want them to recognize you. I'm just saying.
Are there filters for video, for live video?
You can. Maybe not for the lives, but Lordy,
for the still photos. Okay, yeah. Like the eyes and the nose and the ears. Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, just filters that they smooth out your wrinkles, and even my webcam has a filter to make it all look a little fuzzier. And I just don't. Just be you. Trust me on this. The more you're you, the better it will perform.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
people want to see you be natural. They want to see you be authentic. And okay, so the good thing about video, in my opinion, is you really get to be yourself.
Yes.
It's like who you are. So it's the way you would interact with people if you were at a social or something like that. it may not look like that or feel like that at first, but eventually, if you watch yourself back enough, you'll see your voice, you'll hear your voice, you'll hear what works. And it's just get over it. So Facebook wants to Facebook is in competition with YouTube.
Yes.
So they want live video feeds from
and they
your
want
fans.
live, not recorded.
Live.
So don't pre-record this and post it, or the strategy won't work. It's got to be Facebook Live. Okay. So
then what happens? You go live every day.
You go live every day.
How long is a live? What's your recommendation?
It can be anywhere. I always mean to go short. I'm so long-winded. I do the longest lives. It can be anywhere from like 3 minutes, but I think that's too short. 3 minutes to 20 minutes. But for the purpose of these, the ideal is right around probably 3 to 6 minutes is the sweet spot for most people.
Okay.
And the, I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see my board?
Yeah, that's a cool board.
So like right here, it says, those 3 words right there say value.
I can't see it.
Oh, here, I'll switch it.
But go ahead.
There are 3 things you need to do in every single live, every single one. And it's the trifecta. You're going to cover something that's going to offer real value to the person who's listening to the video. And I don't mean like giving them a piece and then making them have to go click somewhere to get the rest. I mean, you give people your best advice, your best stuff. So your lives need to have real value. That value is going to create goodwill in the audience. Mm-hmm. And then on every single Facebook Live, you're going to make an offer, but you're going to do it super chill. And so it works a little bit like this. Now, first, because it's a Facebook Live, it doesn't matter if you have no followings on your business page. Facebook is going to push that video out to a larger audience. And the more consistent that you are and the more value your videos have, as you start to get some likes and some views and some engagement, they'll push your videos to more and more and more people for free. Now, don't be worried if there's nobody on your Facebook Live and you feel like a freaking idiot because you're like, I'm talking to myself. There's nobody even watching. It does not matter. 89% of all Facebook Lives are not watched live. They're watched later.
Right.
So don't worry. Viewers and all of that interaction will come with time. And
it's there. It's in inventory forever.
Forever. They can watch it forever and ever and ever. So you're going to record these, and about 100 days is where the magic really starts to happen. So this is a long-term strategy.
100 continuous days.
Continuous days. I don't want people quitting because they're like, oh, nobody watched my video. You freaking hang in there with me on this.
Okay.
So
that's good to know right there, 100 days. Yeah. Yeah.
To give an example, my early videos when I first started going live from this unknown new business page, I'd have 1 view and then 5 views and 30 views. And then I just did one actually on how to hide your ads from your competition. Now, mind you, my page at that time only had 200 followers, maybe not even that, 180. That video got 2,500 views.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't my followers watching that darn thing, right? That's how far Facebook started pushing it out. And then it'll just start growing and growing and growing. And now we know for a fact anybody who's bothering to watch that video has an interest in that subject matter. So while this is all for free, behind the scenes, you can start building audiences out of every single person who's watched your video. And then you can now start to retarget more specific ads to them. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So let's
I want to put a pin in that because I want to ask what that means, how that happens. But you're on point.
We'll come back to that.
In the video, value and offer, and what else? Okay,
so here's how the value piece is for people that are like, I I'm having a hard time coming up with ideas for value. Okay, if you're an agent or if you're an investor, I want you to take a minute and think of every single question a buyer has ever asked you.
Yep.
Every single question a seller has ever asked you. Every question that comes up regularly in a consultation with somebody. Stuff that's going on with the market that's not just stupid and obvious. Okay, tips that are your best stuff, your best advice. Every single one of these is absolutely perfect for Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to start out, you're just going to be really easygoing. You're going to say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and, I help investors or I help homeowners that have hard to sell homes. Or, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a real estate agent here in the Salt Lake Valley. Just get it right out there, right? If they're not interested in your stuff, they'll leave. We want them to leave. Mm-hmm. So you want to say in your intro a little bit about who you are, because we're going to be retargeting people that have watched at least 10 seconds or more, and we want to get all the people that are not interested the hell off the video early. So then you're going to say, hey, I keep getting, you could just say, like, this week, this question came up 3 times from 3 of my home sellers. And it was, man, what should we really spend money on to get our home ready to sell? Because the list is long. Okay, guys, so there's a lot of ways you can lose money, blah, 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 blah. And then you just give them your best, whatever your freaking best stuff is, give it to them. Mm-hmm. And then your offer at the end, if you're an agent, could be something as simple as, now this is, you guys are going to see, this is the power of having a very unique and specific funnel, right? Not just a generic website. You can say, hey guys, if you have any questions at all about anything I've covered, I've got a page just for how to get your home ready for market, or I've got a free downloadable guide on how to stage your home to make more money or whatever thing you're offering. Just jump over to bellahomes.com. And you're also going to have the link in your Facebook Live. Now, if you guys don't have pages built yet, if you don't have offers built yet, I still want you to do your lives. That will be like next level. For now, you could do something as simple as saying, hey, if you have any questions at all about real estate, feel free. Put your phone number, you're an agent, put your phone number in the bloody text of the ad. Say, give me a call or just message me right here on Facebook. You can also hop on over to bellahomes.com and just drive them to your normal website. But that is by far the worst piece of real estate you can drive them to. But if you throw your Facebook tracking code on your website, you can retarget them from there anyway. So it's better than driving them nowhere.
But at its basic, you could say, message me, or yes, drop your number in the thread below. I'll get right back to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't encourage people to even put their number in the thread. I would just say, just message me, because that way their phone number is not in some public place where other people could see it and call them. Although people will. It's
if they're an agent, though, right?
Well, no, I mean if they're not an agent, like the consumer.
Yeah, depends on your market. Depends on your targeted market, right? If you, in that case, if an agent, if you're targeting agents and they want their number everywhere, if you're targeting individuals,
if it's just like the home seller, let's say, we wouldn't want them throwing their phone number out there, but they do. Call me, and they'll put it in the comment section. It's every time.
So you got value, you got your offer. What else?
And then the middle piece is the goodwill.
The goodwill. Okay. All right.
You're generating goodwill with these videos because you're giving people something valuable on every single Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. You're giving them real, actionable, helpful, useful information. Mm-hmm. And then for real estate agents, the other thing that they can do is you can actually start your own reality TV show. You just need to be very careful with this, okay? So I just got off the phone yesterday with our local MLS, and they basically said, yeah, we don't see a problem with that. And I'm like, good enough for me. But here would be one of my recommendations too, is you can mix these up a little bit. So let's say, and this would work for investors too. I'm going to give a real estate agent example first. Every single day you should be walking through property. It doesn't matter if you have a client or not. Pick an area, a price point, a niche, a neighborhood, or a type of property, like I'm going to use horse property for this example, right? And start scheduling appointments to go walk through horse property. Now, when you schedule with that listing agent, ask their permission, and I would say get it in like a text, something where you can say, hey, I had permission, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And ask them and say, hey, would it be okay if I did a little Facebook Live while I was at the property, just showing how awesome it is? I'll even share it with you to your wall if you like. And get their permission, and then when you go walk through these properties, go live. Now, showcase the very best. So I would walk through first, get the lay of the land, and then decide what little piece to showcase on the live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're doing horse property. So they don't give a shit about the house. Go showcase the horse stuff, the barn, the tack, the corral, the whatever, right?
The big piles of poop you got to shovel.
That's it. Go live, and here's the thing. You have to don't put in the address, don't put in the price. All you're going to identify it by is the city, and that's it. So if people want more information, they have to reach out to you, right? And you always, always, always are only going to showcase the positives. You don't ever say anything negative about somebody's listing in a public forum. It's a violation of the code of ethics, and we just had an agent go down for that here in Utah.
But you frame it as you're the expert.
Yes.
Like I'm walking through this horse property right now, and the things that I look for are whatever. Here they are. Yeah. And so as a buyer, you too might be looking for the tack room or whatever it is. And it's an educational piece. It's not so much a pitch for the property. But
it gets better.
Go ahead.
It gets better. Okay. Yeah. Now you've got a Facebook Live. Every single one of your Facebook Lives, you can download as an MP4 to your computer. Mm-hmm. You can download the video. Mm-hmm. Now if I go into the Facebook search bar inside of Facebook itself and Google horse and Utah. I did this the other day on one of my Facebook Lives. Mm-hmm. I came up with 10 local groups, Facebook groups, that are full of horse lovers. Go join every single one of those groups, and then go post the video of the horse. To those groups, yeah. To those groups, and watch how many leads you start getting for that property.
I love that strategy. I've seen thousands and thousands of houses in my career, walked thousands of houses and properties. In fact, I'm supposed to go walk a bunch of them tomorrow. Yeah. And but I still am enamored when I see a Facebook Live with people in a property going, this is a terrible property, and whatever it is. I can't
help it.
The other thing is,
we just can't do the ones where we say it's terrible, because as real estate agents or realtors, I should say, we're all bound by the code of ethics, and that is a national code. So it's actually
and I was speaking in terms of like an investor.
For an investor,
when I walk through the property, the more terrible it is, the more money I see.
You should see the shit we go through because I have investor clients, and been a broker for 14 years with investor clients. It's freaking hilarious, the crap we see. Literally crap, poop. You're like, how can there be so much poop in one house?
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is, anything doesn't Facebook doesn't their algorithm pick up more views or populate it more when the video is shot on the outside or in a natural environment? Is there any truth to that?
So that I don't know. That's
Okay.
really interesting.
Yeah, anytime there's movement and it's
And
outdoors, sunlight in a
I
natural
can
environment, I'm told that there's the
it
algorithm picks up more
picks up
those
more.
things.
That's really
Yeah,
interesting. That's
you can
worth
test it.
testing.
Yeah, you
That's
can
worth
test it.
testing.
Yeah.
And another reason why these live walkthroughs become so popular. And now think about it. If you're an agent and pick interesting properties to go walk through,
Yeah.
like pick high end, now be careful, right? Don't go showing don't like give the exact floor plan of the house or anything where somebody could come back and say, hey, you like did us a disservice by showcasing our house in such a way that the burglar knew right where to go. Look at this nice safe.
Right.
But you might want to shoot like a really cool kitchen or an awesome wine cellar, yeah, or a
Right.
great swimming pool, or homes that are unique, you know what I mean?
Right.
As well as high demand, cool neighborhoods where you know for a fact there are a lot of people who are interested. And if you mix it up as an agent, so you're doing lives from really diverse and interesting homes, people will start logging on because it's interesting.
It's interesting.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of more interesting than the fake TV shows.
Yeah.
This live. Yes.
The viewers.
Okay,
that
so
watch
now
these
here's what
lives-
you can do.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
From all of these lives that you've been running, what you do is you're now going to have enough of them that you can see some of these got a lot of views and some kind of fell flat. Now, you didn't spend any money to figure this out. It was all for free. So you can start to take the lives that did really well and simply turn those into paid ads. And you can put you could put like a total budget of $50 behind one. And now run it as an actual advertisement, put a little money behind it, and every single person who has watched any of your videos. So when you go into, there's a little section in Facebook where you can just build out audiences. There's all these cool options in there. You can build audiences based on people who've simply engaged with your page or watched any of your videos. So the video that all these videos that you've been running for free now act like a giant filter, because we know that by default, if people watch them, they have to have some interest in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You can now start creating audiences out of video viewers on your page. And you can do two things with those lives that you've done. You can retarget people that have watched your lives with actual paid ads with different types of offers. You can also take your lives that performed the best, and it acted like free split testing, right? You ran 10 videos and one was the standalone favorite. Take that one and now turn that one into a paid ad. And now really push it out to the people that you're that are the best targets for that particular offer. And maybe it was even just a Facebook Live of a cool home. Well, turn it into an ad and push it out to people that are in zip codes that would be able to afford a property in that price point.
So the live video is actually a free market test.
That's it.
That's a great strategy. Great strategy. But the other thing that I heard,
and it will build your fan page all by itself, because people will start to follow your page.
Right. And the couple of big takeaways for me on this already are consistency.
Critical. It doesn't work if you're not consistent.
Like heavy duty consistency. I saw a couple of statistics actually recently where some of the most successful Facebook marketers are doing Facebook videos 4.5 to 7 times a day.
Grant Cardone.
You saw the same. You Brian, you probably saw the same statistic, right?
Yep.
So the same study, right?
And here's the reason why that works.
And Gary, what's his name? Gary
Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
The reason is,
which those are good. Those guys are good models in terms of their consistency, their messaging. Now the difference is that they have productions.
Yeah.
Basically, their videos are productions, which you can get to that level.
Let me talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
It is so not necessary. So the other thing that the data has proven hands down, the more raw, stupid, unedited, glitchy your videos might seem to you, the more the public loves them. Mm-hmm. You do not need high production value. In fact, high production value will often hurt your viewership and your conversion ratios because people are really sick of the polished, glossy stuff. And what they want is just to see real people. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to your videos, don't worry about high production value. It'll actually hurt you more than help you, mm-hmm. which is good news.
Then we go back to value, goodwill, and offer.
That's it. The only stuff that really matters. And behind all of that is authenticity, which is what your more unpolished videos portray to the consumer. Mm-hmm. Great. And then there was something else on the tip of my brain as it related to the lives. Dang it, you made a really good point. I got all excited. It'll come back to me.
Well, we're talking consistency. We were talking about
I've got it. I've got it. So here's the other thing that your daily Facebook Lives gives you: massive amounts of content that you can repurpose.
Okay.
So here's what I mean by that. When I mentioned you can download that Facebook Live as an MP4 video, then you turn right around and upload it to your YouTube channel. And people, I don't care who you are, you need a YouTube channel, go make one. It's easy. It's idiot-proof. Free. You go put those on your YouTube channel, and here's some tips for that. When you title it, the keywords that are going to be the most likely that people would search for if they were interested in your video, put those in the title, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's a video for home sellers, make sure home sellers is in the title. Mm-hmm.
Horse farm, exactly.
Yes, and the city, if that's the case. Horse property in Bluffdale, Utah. Mm-hmm. And then your video is going to have a little field that says keywords. Type horse property, Utah, and put your name in there. Put your full name. And what'll happen is when people start to Google stuff, your videos are going to show up on the very first page of YouTube. Mm-hmm. Nice. This is good for a million reasons. But if you're a listing agent or if you're an investor you've got an appointment with a client and they want to know a little more about you, so what do? They Google you.
Sure.
And you have this giant library of really good, useful, helpful videos that just fill the first page. They're like, well, at least they're legit. Mm-hmm. Right away, exactly. You have built-in credibility. Mm-hmm. So on your videos, you're just going to put in a few keywords. Just always make sure you include your full name in the keyword box, along with a few things that the video is about. And your Facebook Lives all also go on your YouTube channel. Now, if they're less than 10 minutes long, you can also post them on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're super high speed now mind you guys, this is something I'm gearing up to do myself, and even I was like, Jesus, really? But it's not as terrible as it sounds, I promise. There is some awesome software, different types of software out there that will let you repurpose your video content super, super easy. So the next level that you could do with this is you could have your Facebook Live get automatically pushed into and become a podcast episode. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They'll also rip the video off and do an audio separately, and you can have just the audio go someplace. So these Facebook Lives that you are going to start doing, and this is why making sure there's value in every video is important, because when you go to start repurposing these videos across all these other outlets, you want to make sure that they're going to give value to the consumer. Otherwise, they're not going to want to watch them.
Right.
But that one live is going to serve a whole lot of purposes. Now you have your LinkedIn content, you have your YouTube content, and you have podcast content.
Let's not forget Twitter. Twitter.
Oh, yes, Twitter too. Sorry. Yes, yeah. Twitter as well.
Yeah. Can't forget Twitter.
Can't
no,
forget.
all that makes total sense, but again, consistency and messaging.
Yes.
Consistency and messaging. And it just becomes a brush your teeth every day commitment.
Everyday thing, and you just start doing it. And here's what else happens. Local star power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With investors and real estate agents, we're talking about a relatively small territory. You start putting some ad dollars behind these live videos, and you just start, and for this, the point isn't even to get leads, except, wait for it, you're speaking your offer in every video. So it will get leads, but you run these as what are called engagement campaigns on Facebook. That's a kind of a paid campaign where all you're trying to get is engagement from the public, likes, shares, comments. You can get people viewing these videos for as little as a penny per view, and you just freaking start carpet bombing your local area. And for that, I'd pull off a bunch of targeting. I'd be like, if they're over 18 and they live in Salt Lake City, and you just start blasting people, what's going to happen is people are going to start to seriously know who you are in a way that's been utterly impossible in any other way except spending $1 gazillion on TV.
Right.
To the point where they know your face. You know, you'll go to the restaurant and they'll be like, "Hey, you're that real estate chick."
Yeah. That's the dream of everybody, to be recognized in a restaurant.
That's it.
Anyway.
It happens.
So,
I went to I can't remember where the hell I went. Oh, it was a wedding, and somebody came up to me, and it was hilarious. They said, hey, you're the one that did that thing about the haunted houses, right? Because it was Halloween, so I did a whole haunted house series.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. All good stuff. There's one more thing that I want to talk to you about, because I made a list of the things here. You've tapped on all of them. Bots.
Oh.
And so this, I don't know, would you call this an advanced strategy?
Oh my God, I will bore your people to death. I'm so excited about freaking chatbots.
Give us the 2-minute bot.
Okay.
Story. All right.
Okay.
Bots.
So for those who don't know what a chatbot is, okay, it's a little creature. It's a little like a artificial intelligence creature, but we build them, we program them what to say, right? And you can install them on your website. You can install them on every single one of your landing pages. Same bot, not multiple. One bot, many places where it can go. You install that little dude on your Facebook business page to respond to comments. And what it does, it's kind of like a 24-hour, super funny, super friendly, super knowledgeable salesperson / assistant who never sleeps and is thrilled to answer questions.
No. Okay.
So
but it's in Facebook Messenger.
It runs off of Facebook Messenger, and it does so many things so extraordinarily well. One, it's 24 hours. So we get a shocking number of leads come into our funnel between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Like half our leads come in the middle of the night. With a chatbot, if somebody has requested something or asked a question, and it's a question that we've answered 1,000 times, we just can build that into our little bot, and they can have a So how shall I say, a landing page, a website, all of that stuff is one way, right? They can't ask questions and get answers. They only get us talking to them. A chatbot can have a two-way conversation with a consumer, and they can ask it questions. It can deliver content. So like if you have a free guide or a cool book, it'll deliver the book, answer questions. It can send them.
It looks like a two-way conversation.
It absolutely does. It can book appointments, right? Because we have ours book appointments, and you can literally go to bed, wake up, and your chatbot booked an appointment for you while you were sleeping. And they're amazing. But more importantly, I touched on earlier, there are more people on Facebook Messenger. It's up to like 2.3 billion every day. That many.
Yeah.
There are more people on Messenger than on every single social media platform combined. And Facebook is, as we speak, merging Messenger with Instagram and WhatsApp. So your bot's going to be able to hit them across all those platforms.
That's awesome. I don't use Messenger, I mean, as much as I use text, but it's pretty darn close.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah.
And you can do stuff with Messenger that's way easier. Like you can send big files. They can download stuff. They can watch videos. You know when they've seen it. But Messenger, now, here's the thing I want people to try and get their head around. I don't care if you're an investor or if you're a real estate agent, right? The size of your database is the size of your business. Meaning, if you've got a database in real estate, if you've got a database of 100 people, that database should produce 10 closed deals a year. It's about a 10% conversion. Right. Easy math. If you have a database of 1,000 people, that should produce 100 closed deals a year. You could, in theory, just do nothing but build your database, and as long as those people know you're in real estate and you're delivering good content to them, it will produce transactions because they're going to reach out to you every time they need a real estate, buy or sell a house.
Sure.
The thing that you can do with Messenger magnificently is you can build a database inside your Messenger account, inside your chatbot itself. And the chatbot, besides being able to work with people that are coming in from an ad or who've landed on your site or your Facebook page, you can also use it to run drip campaigns, just like you would an email. Mm-hmm. So instead of dripping out to email, or I should say, in addition to dripping out in email, you'll also have a drip campaign running on your chatbot. And again, in real estate, we think an SOI, a database of 500, and we're like, ooh, that's real big. If you have an SOI of 1,000 people, other agents are like, 1,000 people, that's a lot. In Facebook chatbot numbers, they're like, you only got 1 million people on your chatbot, you loser.
Yeah. The power of electronics, right?
You can build gigantic subscriber lists using your chatbot. If you did nothing else but just get people to join your chatbot subscriber list and then drip them out good content with regular offers, you could have a huge business just doing that one thing alone. Sure. So,
well, bots. I knew we had to go down that path a little bit.
Oh, I'm so excited about the little bots.
Yeah. But so to wrap it up, social media and all the channels of social media are a must for anybody in the real estate business.
It's no longer negotiable. It's become a non-negotiable thing, like having a cell phone.
Yeah, and it hasn't been negotiable for a while, but now we have just very specific ways to generate lots of targeted quality leads, which convert to business, which convert to money.
Yes.
And that's, that's what we're here for in the world of business. So yeah, I really appreciate all the information that you've given us and given to the audience and everything. Let's wrap it up with how we can get a hold of you. I failed to mention at the outset, 14 years as a broker, COO of the largest Central 21 office in the world. then you can tell us about your academy. And so go ahead and tell our viewers how they can reach you, what resources are available that you have.
So I have an online training course good Lord, man, it is a business in a box. So me personally, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that little standing table right there? There's another computer on it, and notice there's no longer a wireless headset. Okay, I was a cold calling queen for years. I rocked a Mojo triple dialer for 4 or 5 hours a day. That's how I generated leads. That's how I was taught from my first day in the business back in 2005. And I didn't even follow it with my SOI. I had SOI come to my house and knock on my door and be like, would you please help us? Because I was intimidated by like basic CRMs and spreadsheets. I mean, that's where I was. And it worked, so I stuck with it. And then a bunch of stuff happened, and I couldn't make daily calls anymore. I had just like a bunch of crap happen in my life. And lo and behold, my business crashed because I was like, good God, of all the times to nosedive my business, this is probably not the time. And that's how I got interested in doing this stuff. Okay. That's just like the little backstory. And I was actually indoctrinated to think it was a joke. We blocked Facebook in my office. If I walked through the office and you were on Facebook instead of making your calls, I would smack you in the head. Okay.
There was that time. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would smack you in the head as your broker. I mean, it's like, I'd be like, get off that computer and get on the phone, you know? Fast forward almost 15 years. And I realized I had to come up with a different way to do this. And it took me 2 years to figure it out. I think I'm up to now like 25 courses that I purchased. Like one course, $10,000. We're talking big money. And then learning it all the hard way, falling on my face, crying. And I finally got to the point where I was like, this is absolute bullshit. It should not be this hard to learn. And in fact, it actually wasn't. It's just when you don't know anything, you go down a lot of wrong paths trying to figure it out. So based on that lovely experience, I mean, training agents is what I've done for years. I just built an online training for agents and
their social media marketing.
Yes. And it's everything.
Yeah.
Everything they could possibly need is in there. Not only the training on how to do it, but everything is also pre-built. Pre-built ads, pre-built sales funnels, pre-built chatbots. But I wanted to empower people to be able to do it for themselves, not just use the pre-built stuff. And if it's not your thing and you're like, there's no way in hell, it already sounds too hard, just give it to your assistant or your kid and make them learn how to do it. Yeah. You know?
And that's agentleadacademy.com?
Yeah, that's agentleadacademy.com.
And I know you've got a page, obviously a business page. What is that page?
Yeah, that one's Belladonna Riso Live.
Oh, okay. Belladonna Riso Live Facebook. That's a Facebook page.
On Facebook. And
I know you've got lots of live videos there. I've seen them. So lots of good education.
I got a ton of them on there. Yep. I also have a ton on my YouTube channel. I put lots and lots and lots of free content out there for people. That's actually how I built the course. I didn't mean to. What happened is when I would find something I couldn't do and I was ready to throw in the towel and I'd finally figure it out, I would shoot a video on how to do it and I'd throw it up on YouTube. And then I started getting videos with thousands and thousands of views and people saying, wow, thank you. And I was like, gee, maybe a course would be in order.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time with us. I anticipated this would be a good interview. And of course, I'm kind of in this. I'm not such a techie nerd, but I'm interested in the marketing results side of it, obviously. And and of course, the importance of social media marketing for anyone in the real estate business. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome. You guys go to Belladonna Riso live on Facebook, like her page, follow her videos, check in at agentleadacademy.com for more training. And as usual, go out and share this video with all your friends and even some of your enemies if that helps you. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Paul. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurial Genius. To learn more, visit paulmontalongo.com. If you've enjoyed the episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And please share with your friends. Thanks again, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.